Welcome to Jank Play TCG. My name's Landon, and here we play Jank. And today I am checking out the two Battle EX boxes, the EX Battle decks. One is Victini, and the other one is Miraidon. And then after I talk about the decks, I'm going to go ahead and show you a match where I played Victini against a Miraidon deck. And we'll see which one is better. I already know the answer to that because I already played the match. But let's go ahead and jump into the analysis of the Victini one. Here we go. So it starts off with Victini here, 190 basic HP basic Pokemon. That is an EX Pokemon, meaning when it gets KO'd, it gives up 2 prizes, which can be huge for the prize trade, right? And it's got a single energy attack strafe, 30 damage, and you may switch this Pokemon with one of your benched Pokemon, meaning that you can protect your Victini by attacking with strafe and dragging it back to the bench. And then it's also got a 3 energy attack, Victory Flame, 220 damage, which is enough to KO the opposing Miraidon EX, which is big, but during your next turn, this Pokemon can't attack. So you either need to make sure that attack is big enough to win you the game, or big enough to just keep you in the lead for as long as you need, right? But Victini, it's an okay card. You only get one of this in the deck, which I think is the downfall, but there's some other cards that are pretty exciting. Let's start off with the Funko line, right? So 80 HP for the basic, 1 energy, 20 damage. And I think that's awesome. Low energy cost to get damage done, and high basic HP Pokemon to keep them alive. So next up we've got Crocolore with 110 HP for a stage 1 that's pretty beefy, and then we've got single energy attack for 70, and it's double energy attack for single energy attack for 30, double energy attack for 70, meaning it can do some pretty decent damage. Nothing too great, but it's good enough where the stage 2 is pretty much worth it. And you do need to evolve up the entire line. There's no rare candy in this deck, so you need to go through the entire line here. And we got Skeledirge here. Now, it does do a 4 copies of Fuecoco, 3 copies of Crocolore, and 2 copies of Skeledirge. I'm not a big fan of lowering the amounts like that. It makes it pretty rough for us later on, but still, Skeledirge is a powerful Pokemon. 1 energy, 50 damage, and you can attach up to 2 basic energy cards from your discard pile to your Pokemon any way you like, meaning you can accelerate energy, right? You can get out faster, and it's a really strong attack. And then we've got the 3 energy attack from Skeledirge, where it does 190 damage. And 190 is a lot. You can KO an opposing Victini EX if you're playing Victini against Victini. But you can KO pretty much anything that the Miraidon deck has, and you're doing 30 damage to yourself, meaning you're going to be easier to KO. I like that balance. I think that balance is really good. Sorry, dry mouth. Next up, I want to talk about the Magmar, right? The Magmar is not a bad starting Pokemon. Single energy, collect, draw a card. Drawing a card in this type of deck is important because you need to get your pieces, right? You either need to get energy to attach, or you just need, like, Pokemon to, play. But yeah, I think, Magmar is a good Pokemon. 2 energy, 40 damage is kind of whatever. It's not nearly as good as the Crocolore, but it is slightly better than the Fuecoco. We've also got the Magmortar here, right, which evolves from the Magmar, and single energy 40 damage is decent on a stage 1 that's mirroring Skeledirge, but you don't get any extra bonuses, right? Skeledirge, single energy 50 damage, Magmortar, single energy 40, but Skeledirge does get you that an energy acceleration, which could be key, right? And then we've got the Volcanic Heat. For 3 energy, you can do 170, and during your next turn, this Pokemon can't attack. Luckily, the deck does come with Switch, so you can switch out to a different Pokemon and be able to use that Pokemon's attack or do the old double switch, which I have a whole video talking about. Highly recommend it. But next up, we gotta talk about the Paldean Tauros, right? So for 2 energy, it's got Raging Horns. This attack does 10 more damage for each damage counter on the Pokemon. It's your classic. It has more damage on it. It can do more damage, right? Now, against the Miraidon, this Paldean Tauros was very difficult to use. Against the Miraidon, they're doing 140 pretty consistently, or more. So they're able to knock out this Paldean Tauros in 1 hit. And we do have the Blaze Dash attack for 3 energy, 120. Discard energy from this Pokemon. On a basic, that's not bad. A single prize basic, that's not bad. And I like the discard and energy because it feeds Skeledirge. Later on, you can be attacking with Skeledirge and be reattaching that energy that you've been discarding with Paldean Tauros. So I like the synergy there, but I wish Magmortar had some synergy along with it. Sadly, Paldean Tauros is kind of rough to get going, though. 3 energy is a lot. We do get 2 copies of Cyclizar. This Cyclizar has been phenomenal, right? It's a single prize Pokemon. It's got free retreat, which is important for that double switch, but it's got that touring attack, right? Single energy, and it can draw 2 cards. That's great for consistency, right? You're going to be drawing a lot of cards, which is just fun. I do want to point out, it comes with 18 fire energy. That has more energy than the Miraidon deck, but still, great amount of energy there. It's a lot. It's a little too much. We do play 2 copies of Energy Sticker, which lets you flip a coin, and if heads, you can attach a basic energy card from your discard pile to one of your benched Pokemon, which, you know, again, would have been nice. It feeds in with that Paldean Tauros strategy. I would have loved it if Magmortar was like, you know, the 3 energy attack, discarded energy, or if Victini discarded energy, instead of just having those effects where it can't attack next turn, right? This, it would have fed in with the energy sticker. Then I would be arguing for more energy sticker, you know? But it's the way that they wanted to build the deck. We've got 3 copies of Switch, which is very key because of those attacks where you can't attack the next turn. Switch comes in and kind of saves you from that. We got 1 copy of Jank to find your evolutions. Jank is pretty good. We could have gone Arzu here, but I think they wanted all silver borders, so we went with Jank. We've got 3 copies of Youngster, a nice shuffle draw. This is the most powerful shuffle draw, really, that we have that's universally used. It's a really good card. Highly recommend it, and get 3 of it, so that's pretty good. Next up, we got Rika. This doesn't really see play in competitive, but I still think it's a decent card. You get to look at the top 4 cards of your deck and put 2 of them into your hand, shuffle the others, put them on the bottom of your deck, which means you have a nice way to look at the next cards coming out, and mathematically that can be more important than a Youngster, and it can even be more powerful than a Nemona at times. Nemona is a draw 3, straight just draw 3, that's all Nemona does, but Rika gets you that 4th card, but you only get to look at that 4th card, right? You get to pick 2 cards, and the other 2 go to the bottom of your deck. Nemona gets 3 cards in your hand. So, honestly, I think Rika mathematically is better than Nemona, but Nemona is more powerful. You do get 4 copies of Nemona, though. You also get 3 copies of Nest Ball and 4 copies of Great Ball. I wish those numbers were flipped. 4 copies of Nest Ball, 3 copies of Great Ball, I think would have been better. Especially for new people into the game, where Great Ball doesn't really see play, but Nest Ball does. It would have got them 4 copies and build off that, right? And then we've got the 18 Fire Energy, right? So let's go ahead and check out the Miraidon deck. Where is it? Where? There it is. Haha. I'll go ahead and jump into Edit Deck. Put some spaces in there to clear out the field so we can just focus on the Miraidon EX. And the Miraidon EX, single energy, rapid draw, 20 damage, and draw 2. That's pretty good. I mean, I already mentioned the Cyclizar. That doesn't do any damage and draws 2. So Miraidon getting that is pretty good. And then we got Techno Turbo, 3 lightning energy. Good thing this deck only plays lightning energy. Oh, it plays 18. I thought it played less. Okay. So Techno Turbo only doing 150 though is not great. We have a lot of Pokemon on the Victini side that have more than 150 HP. We got Skeledirge, although it can do 30 damage to itself. You're not one hit KOing it, which is bad, you know. But 150 is not all that bad. You get to attach basic lightning energy cards from your discard pile to one of your bench Pokemon, so there's an advantage there. Energy acceleration, as we mentioned with the Skeledirge, is really good. But it being on your big Miraidon EX, you only get one copy of that. I struggle to see the benefit there, right? I think the Victini is just stronger. But there's other Pokemon in the deck, and I want to start off with Voltorb, which is a decent Pokemon, right? Nothing fancy going on with this. And then it can evolve into the Electrode, and the best thing I can say about it, is single energy 60 damage, right? It's a stage 1, but 1 energy 60 damage. That is way more than you see with the fire side of this, with the Victini deck. 1 energy does not get you that much on the Victini side. Even the Skeledirge does only 50. This does 60, and that can really help numbers-wise, right? So the Electrode, while it's not competitively significant, it is pretty significant in this deck. Then we've got the Pikachu line, and the Pikachu line is pretty important to the overall deck. The charge attack, search your deck for a basic lightning energy and attach it to this Pokemon. Shuffle your deck is pretty good. Pika Punch, 50 damage for 3 is alright. I don't think you're KOing much. I don't think you're KOing anything on the Victini side with 50 though. So 3 energy is a lot for that small amount of damage. But the Raichu is key here. The electric grounding ability. When one of your Pokemon is knocked out by damage from an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, you may move a lightning energy from that Pokemon to this Pokemon. And then Thunder, which does 180, which is a lot, 10 short of KOing a Victini, but can KO Skeledirge pretty easily. However, it does do 50 damage to itself, so you can only do it twice. If you do it a third time, you're going to give your opponent prize, and that's not exactly great, but most likely they'll be knocked out before you get to do it even twice, right? But 180 is a massive amount of damage for a stage 1, and then in addition, the energy acceleration that's built into it, right? You can either charge up with Pikachu for 1 attack, but the electric grounding is so important. You can just sit on the bench, and as your opponent KOs Pokemon, take prizes, you've got this big old 180 hidden Pokemon ready to attack, right? So it is a real threat out there on the field, and if you can get 2 of them out, that's just double the energy, right? Lastly, we're going to talk about the Wattrel and Kilowattrel line, right? So Wattrel does have that single energy draw, like we saw with the Magmar. 2 energy, 20 damage is okay. It's really not great. The Fuecoco does 20 for a single energy, and that 50 HP is shockingly low, right? I'm concerned about that low 50 HP, but yeah, that it is the way it is, right? But the collect is pretty good. And then we got Kilowattrel here, and this is a really good Kilowattrel in my opinion. I think more people need to be aware of this card, but yeah, it's got 120 HP, which is nothing great, but we've got that skill dive attack. For only 2 energy, this Pokemon is doing 50 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon, meaning it can hit the bench, which I think is key. Maybe not in this matchup against the Victini deck, but definitely in other matchups. 50 damage to the bench is important, right? There are Pokemon like Wattrel that only have 50 HP that Kilowattrel can go ahead and KO on your opponent's side. So that's something to be aware of at the very least. And then we got this Thunder Blast attack. 140 damage for 3 energy, and you discard an energy from this Pokemon. So it is kind of rough. You don't have any Pokemon that accelerate energy except Miraidon, but that's 3 lightning energy, right? And you're discarding energy, which isn't exactly great for this deck, but you're going to see we do have some energy acceleration outside of Miraidon that I think makes up for the faults of this discarding an energy, right? But you'll always have an energy waiting to go back to Raichu, right? you need 3 lightning on there. This deck doesn't play any special energy, so there's no way to get better energy, right? If you are building this as a start, I would recommend maybe some double turbos, and focusing on this kilowatt line can really shock your opponent sometimes. Get it? Shock? So yeah, as I mentioned before, 18 lightning energy, same as the Victini. I thought the Victini had more and this one had 15. I was mistaken when I said that earlier. But yeah, 18 lightning energy. And then let's jump into the trainers here. And I think the big difference, let me just double check numbers. Yeah, the only difference is, while the fire deck has energy sticker, which was on a coin flip, this deck has electric generator, one of the best cards for electric Pokemon in the format currently. You look at the top 5 cards of your deck and attach up to 2 basic lightning energy cards you find there to your bench lightning Pokemon any way you like. So you're not powering up a Cyclizar, but you are powering up just about everything else in your deck, and you get 2 energy for just 1 trainer. Sure, it only looks at the top 5 cards of your deck, but you are playing 18 lightning energy. How likely are you to hit that, right? Everything else in the trainer section is the same as the Fuecoco, just the electric generator instead of the energy sticker. Electric generator is just way better. And then add in the fact that your state... Alright, let's get this match going. So I am going to be playing the Victini EX Battle Deck, and Resident Clinton from the Discord is playing the Miraidon EX Battle Deck. We'll see which one wins, but really we just want to get a feel for this, right? And I'm actually recording this part before I record the review, so this is actually informing the review, so hopefully the review will inform the game. Does that make sense? It makes sense in my head. Alright, they got heads, and they went with heads. Don't they know the saying? Alright, whatever. Alright, let's see. Our opening hand is Magmar, and we get our EX in the beginning? That's crazy. I guess we'll start with our EX. And we'll see if this strategy works out, or if we should have saved the EX a little bit and gone with some other choices. But hey, starting off strong with our EX in the active. And we can get Fuecoco. We've already got the stage 1 in hand. So yeah, let's play down that Fuecoco. And we can't attack, so we'll just end our turn. Wow, starting off with our EX is such a lucky break. I'm letting them know that that was lucky. Whew, alright. Let's see, they've got Wattrels coming out, meaning Kilowattrel's coming. Pikachu's gonna come out? Alright. I know that Raichu has a very powerful attack. I think it can one-shot the Victini with a Vitality Band. I don't know if that's in their deck. Like I said, this is before the review, so I'm going in a little bit blind too. Actually, I've got their deck list. What if I just look at the deck list, right? Do they play a Vitality Band? They do not. Can that Raichu one KO us? I think it can. I'm going to move this over here so it's not blocking the field for me. It's so hard to zoom in on that. Voltorb and a Nest Ball. They're going to get their EX out probably. This is going to be one heck of a game. We got a youngster next turn too, which is pretty powerful. So maybe I'll be able to, so I'll probably use Strafe, move this Victini back onto the bench, put up something else. I'm thinking the Magmar currently, but I can still attach to the Victini, which is pretty strong. And then I'll have that Victory Flame ready to go. And I doubt either of our decks has Boss's Orders in there. Seems like both of our decks don't have, like, a lot of rares. There's like the EXs and then maybe one other Pokemon rare, like the Cyclizar is a rare. So Rika, alright, let's evolve that one. We'll throw down a Fire Energy onto Victini. And we'll play Youngster, get brand new hand here. We do get a Nest Ball. This Nest Ball can be important. What can we grab with this Nest Ball? Cyclizar for ourselves, maybe? Paldean Tauros, maybe? I do like the Cyclizar idea. Let's grab that Cyclizar. And we don't really have a reason to play down the Great Ball this turn, but we are going to just go ahead, strafe 30 damage. Yes, we want to switch to the bench. We're going to put up Cyclizar because that has free retreat. I was going to do the Magmar at first because it had that collect attack, but with the free retreat, we can just keep doing this with Victini, right? And we can just keep getting damage done. So, alright, there's the Great Ball coming from our opponent. They grab Raichu. Yep, that's that Raichu. How much damage can that thing do? 180. So it's just missing the one-hit KO on Victini, right? One of the first upgrades I would probably do for the deck, the Lightning side deck, would be throwing a Vitality Band to make sure that one-hit KO can occur. Because I'm pretty sure my Victory Flame can KO their Miraidon, right? So we want to have one-hit KOs going back and forth. Although, you know, this is a starter deck, so maybe one-hit KOs aren't really needed or wanted. There's that Cyclizar coming into the active. One energy on there, they're going to get to do that Touring attack and draw 2 cards. So hopefully that'll get them set up in the future, right? Our Victini only has a 1-cost retreat. Let's play down Rika. Ooh, we're going to grab that for sure, that for sure. The other 2, was it? Shuffle them and put them on the bottom of our deck. Okay, I can live with that, yeah. What a lucky Rika, though. Like, I was expecting a Great Ball for one of these, but just to get these 2 evolutions out like that is insane. And then we can Great Ball. We got so many options here. We're going to grab another Cyclizar, I think. Play that down. What can this do? We don't have any Fire Energy in the discard, so that 1 energy attack's not great. Flare's not bad for 40. Yeah, I gotta put it somewhere. Do we put it on the Magmortar and start putting pressure on? I think so. I think that's gonna make a lot of sense. And we'll just build up until we can do Volcanic Heat for 170, right? I think that makes sense. Alright, so now it's their turn. They've got Cyclizar. Hopefully they're drawing some decent cards. There's Electrode. This Electrode can do 60 for 1 energy. That's actually pretty darn good. That can KO some basics. And they switch to the Electrode. I think is a really smart move. Now we're both kind of in 3-hit territory, so that's not exactly great. It's going to be a little while here. But I think we are just going to go back and forth and eventually trade, right? So I do 40, they do 60, I'm at 120, I do 40, they're at 10, they do 60, KOing the Magmortar, I can put the Skeledirge then, and attach up to 2 basic Fire Energy from my discard. I'll only have the 1 from the Magmortar, but yeah, I think that would be pretty good either way. And then I can have that Blazing Shot for 190. Oof, that can be pretty decent. Alright. There's a Crocolore. I need another Fuecoco, though. That's currently the downfall, right? So let's go ahead and Flare. Opponent's turn. So me KOing them, their Raichu, when one of your Pokemon is knocked out from damage and attack from your opponent's Pokemon, you may move a Lightning Energy from that Pokemon to this Pokemon. So it's kind of like an EXP share built in. You could actually play Raichu and EXP share and get double energy. I think that Raichu is pretty good. 180 isn't exactly great, but you throw on and I'm talking about a lot of tools, right? So maybe that's the issue. But you could throw on a Maximum Belt and you'd be doing 230, and that's a key number. Let's throw up the Skeledirge. I can play down an energy onto Skeledirge, and then I'm going to Passionate Singing and put an energy on the Victini. And there we go. So the Raichu can one-hit KO our Skeledirge. We can one-hit KO the Raichu with our Victini. That might be the prize trade here. That might be. We got the Paldean Tauros. That's pretty exciting. So they put up Cyclizar. That's going to buy them time to think, you know? If they can get energy and get that onto Raichu, there's their one-hit KO on my Stage 2. So I think the Lightning deck, being mostly a Stage 1 deck, seems to be in its advantage, right? But this Skeledirge is no joke. It is a powerful Skeledirge. So, yeah. Should have taken a better look before I started recording this, but this is fine. They just built the deck themselves, so we're both kind of reacting blind to these. But Electric Generator, such a powerful card for this Lightning deck. Right now I am putting Miraidon as the better deck, you know? Let's see, okay, that's not bad. That's not a bad combination of attacks from Kilowattrel. Another Electric Generator. They're ready for this Thunder Blast, but, you know, I don't think we'll be able to strafe to victory, if you know what I mean. But that might... No, we need to KO this... everything can KO, or the main things can KO the Paldean Tauros, which is rough. And I really like the idea of Paldean Tauros getting that damage. It's not going to play out well. There's another Crocodile, and I'll play down a Paldean Tauros, although I think I am going to attack to KO here with my Victory Flame and get that going, right? We'll KO the Raichu. They'll come up with Kilowatts. We'll probably do 140. We can switch and attack again and get another KO. Then they will, unfortunately, KO us, which is kind of too bad, but it is what it is, right? So yeah, I think they do have the advantage with the heavy reliance on Stage 1s. While we do have Paldean Tauros as a basic, I don't think it's good enough, if that makes any sense, right? So they're actually attacking with the Cyclizar, which I do find interesting. There's the Youngster. Brand new hand for them. There comes the Pikachu. They're going to get another Raichu out? That's gnarly. Oh, Kilowattrel. They are setting some stuff up that I am not really liking, I gotta admit. Maybe I do have the bad deck. Let's see. Let's go Nest Ball. We gotta get another Fuecoco. There it is. That's what we're needing here. I'm gonna throw on a Fire Energy onto it, and I'm going to go ahead. I'm gonna switch and attack. They're gonna get 2 prizes. We will get 1 prize. We will be behind on prizes, but I think that's the right move. I really do. So let's KO this Cyclizar. There goes 3 energy for him. Like, are they going to be able to power up much else? That's the big question for me. There's another Fire Energy. We need that for the Fuecoco. We're looking good, right? Crocodile can do 70. That's not nearly enough, though. So it'll be interesting if they start sniping down the Fuecoco, because next turn I am probably just going to leave Cyclizar in the active. Yep, there's the Kilowattrel getting the KO. We'll put up the Cyclizar. Another energy, that's beautiful. Do I play the Youngster? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Nest Ball out. A Magmar. How many... How many Skeledirges does this deck play? That is a good question. I'm scared that they're just going to Skill Dive and they're not going to KO the Cyclizar, just putting damage on the Crocolor. That way they can try to bench snipe it if I put up like Tauros or someone. So I'm going to leave the Cyclozar up. I have another one, so I still have that free switcher if I need it. But this should be setting me up just fine, right? I just need to get that Skeledirge. And as long as this deck has that Skeledirge, I built this deck like a week ago. And I'm finally getting around to it. Not a week ago. Well, from the time you're seeing it, about a week ago. So, just trying to get this all put together, right? There's the Thunder Blast. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. I would have been in trouble if they were going for something else here, right? But they got the Miraidon out. They just haven't moved any energy, really, for a little while now. Alright, this is it. This is the Nemona that might win us the game. We don't win. Yikes. Is there anything I can do? They do exactly 140. That's a good number. That KO's a Magmortar, right? I think we just lose. I think we just lose. I can do this. Touring. Yep, I think I just lose. Good game to my opponent, Resident Clint. Putting up a good fight. Miraidon, I do think, is the better of the two decks. If you are going to be buying one of these decks, I would suggest the Miraidon, right? That lightning typing has always been powerful, and you get some key cards in there. I mean, getting the 2 electric generator is just fantastic, right? So, congratulations to my opponent for that match. You know, that's all I can say. Thank you so much for watching this review of the 2 EX battle decks that came out. It's like they barely even used their Miraidon. We started with our Victini EX. I think that just goes to show how powerful that deck is. So, thank you so much for watching. Go ahead, join the Discord where you can talk to other Jank builders. People are just really skilled at building decks. You know, it's not just me in there. There's a lot of really good deck builders out there, and you know, if you need help upgrading one of these decks, we'll be more than happy to help you in our Discord. And maybe if there's enough traction on this video, I'll even come out with a video talking about upgrades you can do for that deck. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Do all the YouTube things, like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell notification, all that stuff. And of course, until next time, keep playing Jank.